All right, happy Wednesday, hump day, and today I thought we'd do something a bit different. I did a question on Instagram, and I was actually pretty amazed by the amount of questions that I got back about real estate. Aside from my partner, Jonathan, who's just said, buy buildings. I don't know if you can see that. Anyways, thanks, John. That's very helpful. But no, we got some cool questions, and I thought we would go through a couple of them, and if I can answer them, I'll do the best job I can. So is it good to invest with more than one person? What are your thoughts on partnering? My thoughts on partnering are, I wish I did it earlier when I started investing. I think that partners are great when you're trying to scale up in real estate, as long as you follow, some sound advice. And part of that, I think, is talking about the end at the beginning. And a lot of people don't want to talk about, exit opportunities and, what happens in the event that, say, there's a death in the family, somebody gets married, life changes. And I think it's important to have those conversations upfront with the partner or partners that you're with. I think another important thing is make sure you're complementary. If you have a partner that is a person that is an attention to detail person and you're exactly the same way, maybe it's not the perfect fit. If oftentimes people that are more analytical, they might not have the sales aspect or, the personality that will be negotiating deals. So have complementary attributes. And I think those type of partnerships are, in the long term, the best. And I guess lastly, I would just say, and I didn't realize this till a lot later in my career, that make sure you're in the same life circumstances. If you are right about to retire, maybe partnering with a 20-year-old is probably not the best thing to do. And that's an extreme example, but you really want to partner with people that are somewhat close to you in what they're going through in their life stage. That's just my personal opinion. All right, what else do we got here? What is your deal analysis process? All right, well, I mean, you could go through 10 minutes on deal analysis. I think when you're entering a market, the fundamentals of the market, so, buzzwords, demographic analysis, market analysis, just looking at an area, is there job growth, is there immigration? That's the first step, and then getting more granular when you actually buy investments. And that's going to go to the underwriting stage. How do you underwrite a deal? What's your investment philosophy? Are you a developer that's developing land? Are you a value add individual that is buying land to increase the tenancies and increase rent, and that's the way you're going to add value? So yeah, it's a tough one. It really depends on the specific goals that you have. So, starting from the market, going into the specific deals, and then just doing your proper due diligence in underwriting. All right, how about we do one quick last one. Difference in residential versus commercial mortgages, deposit percentage, and interest rates. So, one of the major differences, if you're buying commercial, as in office, industrial, or retail, you hear 35% down payment thrown around a lot. That's, pretty standard in that world. Whereas, as many of you probably know, just buying houses and residential, could be 20%, 15%, 10% down. The one thing though is that if you're buying multifamily residential, which just means the bigger apartment buildings, those ones there, you can get pretty attractive agency debt. So in Canada, that would be CMHC. In the States, that'd be Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. And yeah, those deals, you could have, like I said, a lower down payment. So your loan to value isn't as low as some of the commercial assets. So in terms of the actual difference between the loans themselves, they are fairly similar. I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's still a mortgage. Depending on who holds the mortgage might be a bit of a differentiator, but any bank that does residential, any major bank that does residential usually has a division that does commercial loans. So yeah, that's the answer to that. So that is a quick Wednesday questions. If you have any other questions, feel free to DM me on Instagram. Thanks so much for everybody that's continuing to support the podcast, Working Capital, the real estate podcast. It's kind of blown me away. So I appreciate that, and have a fantastic Wednesday.